Steve much prefers to be 33 feet as opposed to 30.
Hi guys, what's going on? Steve here from Team Ace and welcome to Felin Geri today. Today we've got a special treat for you. We're going to do a mic'd up practice round of the beautiful Felin Geri front 12 course. We're going to see what I do, what sort of hilarious scrambles I make for birdie, because it's about a 31 mile an hour headwind today. So first hole is 140 meters, par 4, about 460 foot for my American friends. I'm going to try and throw my nuke nice and straight through the gap. Hopefully the headwind will give it a little bit of turn and allow it to miss the Mando. On the good side, of course. Let's see how it plays out. It's not too bad. Missed the hit the Mando, but ended up on the left-hand side of the fairway. I'm just going to quickly try a forehand shot to see how that would have gone. Going to throw my force just on the little flex lines, see how that would have went. The backhand is the play, I think, though. And he parks the short course. All right. So that shot with the nuke kind of faded out pretty hard. And then the other forehand as well turned over quite a bit. So I guess that's the difference between a 20 mile an hour and a 30 mile an hour wind at the moment. It's just so hard to tell the difference between the two. I think anything over 10, 15 mile an hour, you're already looking at something stable. So I don't know, it's getting that judgment right between stabilities of discs, I guess I need to work on. But we have ended up on the left-hand side of the fairway. In tournament play, I think this is going to be OB, where it's been cut around here. You're going to have to kind of stay on this right-hand channel on the cut fairways, which will definitely make it really challenging, especially as a hole one for a tournament. Probably going to find yourself either taking multiple bogey or probably maybe even a par at best, really. You'd have to take a par by playing safe though, I think. Maybe a buzz down the middle. Probably hang a buzz in the middle of the fairway and then maybe attack the hole in the second shot. But anyway, I've got the nuke. We're a little bit out, still in a headwind. I am going to hang out my ESP force. I'm going to hang it out nice and wide and get into the basket without turning over. It is windy. Okay. Wow. Cool, I'll take that. Wow, about 35 long, if not 40. I honestly did not even expect to get up here, so I'm pretty happy with that, but you're looking at a bit of a death part. It's pretty scary still. P2 or Lunar, I think we are going to go with the Lunar on this one. Don't forget your mini. All right, low brambles in the way. Straddle out maybe for a swim putt. There isn't really much to go with here. I'd say this is just outside the circle, so I might go for a little so close, but it's going to be a par and I will take that on the first hole. Par is definitely good, Sometimes people can be taking bogeys, double bogeys. So I'll quite happily take a par here any day of the week. 40 footers are quite hard always to make, so see if it could have made it in. It's quite a good par. Knew it would have gone in. Yeah. Sweet, hole 2. Okay, here we are, hole 2, par 3, 87 meters. Apology if it's really rainy at the moment, but it's still kind of going off and it might get on the lens, so sorry about that if it ruins your experience, but we are trying to keep everything dry as much as we can and hopefully it will be all good. So, par 3, 87 meters, basket's just on the right down there. You'll see it in the drone preview that you should be seeing now, and hopefully we'll try and park it. I am going to go with a simple and safe forehand route out to the left with my Kong. Hopefully we'll get it to fade back and get it somewhere near the hole. No, that is the mistake to make on this hole. So classic that those trees always go in the way and the headwind always lifts it up a bit. Got to throw it lower. So I'm guessing this is going to be the shot that I should have done. That's still a tree. Ah, definitely not a backhand shot, is it? I think I'd rather be there on this hole than just hitting the trees early. That's kind of like a jail sentence. I mean, I'm still, what do I say, like maybe a good 200 away from the pin still, and like it's still pretty tough in the headwind. At least with landing out to the left, it will kind of hit the ground pretty quickly. Not today. So we've ended up here on the left about 170, 180, which is about 70 meters, 60 meters even, probably not even that. But I'm gonna throw my approach. It's a par 3, so I'll be really happy to get a par on here. I'm gonna throw my big C Luna on a hyzer, kind of aiming at that tree on the right, just above it, and have it kind of fade down and just drop by the basket. Kind of like that. See. I'll take that any day. Ah, so happy, like the one time that I actually do want it to go well, it does. I think it's because the wind dropped at that exact moment. Maybe the wind just heard me talking and just said, yeah, you can park this for once. But be careful of hole 3 because we'll get you then. Wow, this is really nice over here. I think in tournament play, we'll have like a kidney bean shaped OB. So as you come through the tree, you'll have to land on the right kind of drop zone. And then over the left-hand side, that's all gonna be OB. So my Avenger, which is somewhere over there, will be OB. But made our approach, got to the green, and hopefully we'll be rewarded with a par. Nice, so even at the moment, not under, not over. Really can't complain. Let's go on to hole 3. Hole 3 at Felin Geri. It's a beautiful tee pad shot. Wow, that is gorgeous. Hole 3, par 3, 94 meters. You're looking for a straight putter shot straight down the middle, really, if you can. Or maybe an amateur like me will be throwing something like a driver or a mid-range, maybe taking a wide route with a forehand, coming in with a hyzer, or maybe throwing a mid kind of hard and leaving myself in the gap for a 40-foot look for birdie. But most likely on this hole, if you don't pure it, you're taking a par or a bogey, which on a day like this is pretty likely for me and pretty obvious. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to hang in this wind, my 5-time force out really wide today, and so overstable that I'm definitely not going to lose it today as well. It's bogey or birdie time. Well, I'm in the gap with a 50-foot look for birdie in this wind, so looks like I might not take birdie or bogey after all. Cool. So we are about 60 foot out, probably about 20 meters, edge of circle 2 at least. On the right hand side, which is a pretty common mistake to make, but you can either go for a flick out or a little anhyzer. I'm going to take the fierce, 167 gram fierce, and just kind of do a touch ante and lay up for par in this wind. Wow, tailwind caught it, but should still have a look for par, especially as my putting seems to be better than my upshots today, so it's kind of saving me a bit. Yeah, not too bad. So hopefully that's about hole 3, and if things go well, we are going to tap in for par. Always take your time with your putting. Always take your time with your putting, and you'll never go wrong. That's a bogey, on to hole 4. So the wind started to, I would say, die down, but it's probably because this area, as you get between hole 2 and 4, is kind of a little bit more guarded by all these reeds around us. This hole, hole 4, par 3, 92 meters, going straight through this gap, and then the basket's about 60-70 meters round to the right, so it's a 30 forward, 60 to the right. Let's use the force on this, something nice and overstable, and we are going to put it through the gap and hopefully leave ourselves with a 70 footer at best. If I get in a position anyway through the gap, I'm going to be happy. I've got a river to the right that's OB that I really don't want to put my discs in either, so let's try and get it. Keep it low, keep it low. Don't go too high. Don't go too high, and keep it low. Made the gap, hit the tree, but we've got an approach shot, and that's kind of what I'm looking for in my division at the moment. I mean, if I can par out, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. A lot of these holes are quite technical, quite long, so especially in this wind, I think par is a really good score. Let's see where we ended up though. Probably looking at a good 150 footer downhill, downwind, sorry. And yeah, we actually ended up over near the short tee pad for this hole, which is kind of nice because, touch wood, I have been shooting all right from the short tee pad this week. So we've ended up a good 100 foot out, probably at least. The wind is a tailwind right to left, and it is pretty windy still. We're talking nearly 30 at some points. So I'm just going to hang my P2 out nice and low, hopefully park it near the basket. Here we go. Sweet. That'll play. The mistake here really is floating your putter any higher than the basket. As soon as it's like over the basket height, the wind can just do anything with it and take it anywhere. But on a calm day, this will probably be a pretty nice approach shot. And I am going to take a very happy and a very bonus par on this hole. Sweet. Okay guys, hole 5, par 3, 72 meters, far side of the river on the right is OB. Trick on this hole is to either play a forehand out or go for a straight shot, but the danger is of the river on the right has some trees overhanging. If your disc hangs around and hits the trees, then you're looking at OB and taking a bogey at best. I'm going to try and eliminate that, go with something really stable, my force, hang it out to the left and just park it. Hopefully it should be a par or a birdie at least. Nice and wide. Not too bad. I'm looking at circle 2 putt. I'm just glad it didn't go in the river really. So, if I'd have gone for the putter shot, maybe it would have got absolutely dunked by the tailwind. Just what I thought. Wow, that hole's a lot harder than what it plays like. And it seems only 72 meters, but that's actually like harder in a tailwind. I think you have to give it quite a bit of juice, something really overstable. So this is a bit closer than I thought. About 40, 50 foot out, 15 meters. Really strong left to right tailwind. Maybe you can see that. So give it lots of height. This is going to get pushed down. Lots of height, and I'm definitely outside the circle. Oh, so close, so close, but sometimes that's just what happens in this wind. Give it a good bid, try and get the birdie, and sometimes that's all you can do. And next up, hole 6. Okay guys, we've made it to hole 6. The wind is getting up and it's getting a bit wet. And now we're at one of the signature holes of Felin Geri. Par 3, 75 meters, double water, all water's OB, all shots to the right as well are OB. It's basically a hyzer flip through the gap, trying to pure it in this right to left headwind. Probably going to get a tiny bit of flip up, but then it's going to also push it to the left, so hopefully it should stay straight. I'm going to be using my Prodigy F5 and hopefully get it through the gap. On a real tournament play, I would probably lay up to the grass, take my par through, but for the benefit of the camera, I'm going to risk my bogey or double bogey, and we'll try and get it. Through the gap, amazingly, and I am looking at a circle 2 putt for birdie. Can't ask more than that, really. I'm really loving the Felin Geri scenery that we've got here. It's absolutely beautiful. The walk between hole 6 and the green is It's just an absolute joy. They're starting to build some new accommodation for everyone. If anyone's thinking of coming down to here, they've got some beautiful glamping tents, some beautiful safari tents. They've got a miller's cottage, all with hot tubs, Egyptian cotton seats, Egyptian cotton sheets, and they are absolutely beautiful. And it's a great place to come down. So if you get a chance to come down to Wales, it's one hell of a beautiful place to play disc golf. So yeah, I'm looking at a circle 2 look, really. Thought it's better than I thought it would have been. If you're looking for a safe shot on this screen, you're looking to lay up to kind of the bank. That's where the short tee is for this hole. And then you've got the river. This is the second water that you have to cross. Quite often you might find discs hit this tree over on the right here, and just when they're through both sides of the water, they'll hit that last tree and just dunk mercilessly into the water, and you'll be re-teeing basically. Well, won't be re-teeing, you'll be taking your next shot from just the other side of the river there with a 30-meter jumper over the river for a par. But yeah, let's see what we can do here. Right, we're looking at a circle 2 look. Right to left, slight headwind, slight tailwind. It's kind of swirling, so I might pop this up on a little bit of Annie, high, and get it to sit rather than go for a hyzer shot. Outside the circle. A little bit wide. Let's have another in. I'm gonna do one more for the hyzer chance. Maybe I should have done that, but that's why we do practice rounds. Practice, practice, practice. Know your mistakes. They're often pretty much the best thing you can do in practice rounds, because you know your mistakes, you're prepared for any eventuality. Oh, I don't think that was my mark. I think this was actually my mark for my lunar run. Par. What a beautiful hole. There's so many sheep fields at the top as well. Loads of lambs. You're out for a nice walk with your maybe other half, then you can go and see some beautiful scenery as you're walking around the golf course as well, and maybe take a tee shot off the valley into one of these baskets. If anyone can come to Felin Geri and take a shot from the valley, then yeah, feel free to film it and send it to me. That would be awesome to see. And on to hole 7, which is down this lovely winding woods. Kind of reminds me of USDGC. The long par 5 over the water has this little woods that you cut through. Right, Will. Oh, I know, we need you, man. You are doing an amazing job. Yeah, shout out to my good friends Will and Liv that are behind the mic and the camera at the moment, helping out with the filming and the camera work. Making everything possible. Without them, I'd probably be on a cell phone right now, zooming in after my own shots. So yeah, special thanks to them guys for bringing this coverage to you and let you see Felin Geri as well. But it is a nice walk as well, Will. So on to hole 7 of 12, par 4. It is a par 4, 115 meters, river on the right, OB stakes short on the left here. You've got a kind of old school telephone shaped OB on the left with the Christmas sock OB shape further up the fairway on the left as well. If this was a tournament, you could go for the turnover, but obviously the river on the right is OB, and not just that, you'll lose your favourite turnover disc. So I am just going to go for a layup onto this grass, beam it nice and straight. If I go too long, then I'm still only about 30-40 foot away from the basket looking at a birdie putt. So what am I going to throw here? Right, I'm going to go with my 5-time McBeast Undertaker and get a nice 80-90 metres up the fairway. Definitely make sure I put it on hyzer. That could be safe actually. Wow. That's a safe shot up to the left. If you're actually playing a tournament, and what you should be doing, I guess, in kind of my division at the moment is laying up. So with the Big C Luna, so we've ended up on the left-hand side of the fairway, which is probably the mistake to make. Over on the right there, it's pretty unseeable to see the basket, and it's pretty rainy and pretty wet, so chances are you'll be crouching in the wetness. So we've got a tee shot out here, and we have a little layup. The river's about 15 feet behind, about 5 meters behind the basket, so I want to be laying up short of the basket. There's a tree out on the right. If it hits that, it'll duck some speed, which is good. So we've ended up about just outside the circle, and this is for birdie. I think I'm going to go with my fierce on this because it's a little bit more understable and I still have to get around these trees. Come on, the fierce. Oh, denied. Wow. Still on the hunt for a birdie at the moment. I mean, I'll pretty much take par any day on this hole, especially with the OB to the right. It's really windy. Wow, that is a left to right headwind from where I am. Yes, let's go. Man, that wind is tough. It's a really tough wind. Man, I had to take my time with that. Okay guys, here we are. Hole 8, par 3, 63 meters, far side of the river OB. What you want to do is you either have your Conrad, throw a putter straight down the middle. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hyzer out to the right for the safe play, especially in this ripping wind. The trick with this hole is to not throw something overstable to try and get it around, but something understable to get it to glide almost and get you that extra carry. What I'm going to do in this wind is I'm going to throw my slow mes buzz, which should hold its hyzer line and give me a little bit of glide as one of the glidiest discs in the world. If you don't have a buzz, go and get one from acediscgolf.co.uk. Wow, that wind is interesting. Cool, and that'll be a pretty easy look for par. You know what, I felt really good on that shot when I was releasing it. My weight was like over my body and down, so all I had to make sure was I didn't really shank it over to the right hand side or left hand side into the water. So we've got to look for par. We haven't got on the birdie train yet, but we will have a look the hole afterwards. I think there's probably, I'd say, one good opportunity, two okay opportunities, and then one hole there's pretty much no chance of me getting a birdie without sacrificing my disc So we are at least probably edge of circle 2. So I'm pretty sure I can jump putt from here, although I don't think I will. In fact, yes, I most definitely will be jump putting. Wind is a left to right wind, it's going to push the disc down. So I'm actually just going to straight putt it, and if it gets dropped by the wind, I'll still have a par putt. Just make sure it gets there. Well, always miss high with your shots. That is the miss to make, and I think I'll go and putt out for my par on this hole, which isn't bad. We've been parring out, and I can't be really too disappointed with that. It's what I'm kind of looking for. Par is good. Three out of 3. Lovely. Hole 9, par 3, 60 metres. This one, the far side of the river's OB. OB left in the river with the water just here. It's pretty much just a straight shot with a putter. The danger is juicing it too much and ending up in the river OB to the right, in which case you'll be greatly unrewarded with a bramble putt for birdie, and it's really hard to make. So I'm going to be throwing my big Z Luna just on a gentle hyzer, probably from a standstill, and we will try and get our first birdie. Cool. So shots ended up a bit right, but I am pretty much in line with the pin, so got a good chance here to get my first birdie. But in this wind, obviously, par is a great score as well. Definitely a tailwind. No, it's a left to right now, so it's going to push my disc down a bit. Let's get it nice and straight then, nice and high. Let's go, first birdie of the day. Oh, thank you, basket. And now on to hole 10, one of the other signature holes of the course. Lovely. So here we are, guys, hole 10, one of the signature holes of Felin Geri. There are quite a lot of picturesque holes here, but this one is definitely the most intriguing. Got 52 metres, par 3, river is OB, obviously, far side of the river is also OB. Trick here is you want to either play a forehand, maybe ace it, and maybe park it on the little bank that's just to the left of the basket. Obviously the amount of bank that there is depends on the weather, and obviously today there's absolutely no bank. It's probably about 3 metres worth. So instead I'm going to be going for the hyzer route round to the right, and I am going to be playing for par. And I am going to be throwing my Yuli Raptor, so shout out to Paul Ulibari. Let's see how this plays out. That's pretty much all I can expect from this hole, so let's try and get the par train on the go. Cool, so I've ended out here, see the tee pad for hole 8. Wow, that's a headwind and a half. Right, I'm at my lie. You can pretty much see the basket over at the far end near the river. I'm gonna have to keep this really low and really stable, but anything that's gonna catch the edge of the disc is gonna fly up in the air. So I think I'm gonna go for a hard, low spin putt and just let it kind of float in there. It's not really understable, I feel like it's going to be the play here. Wow, that wind is ripping right now. Woo! Right, here we go. Wow, that is definitely going to be bogey territory now. We missed the prize shot that would have given us the par on this hole, but now we're just going to pretty much lay up for our bogey. I'm not going to really chance that too much. And I'll happily take a bogey on this hole with no lost discs. Okay, this is the penultimate hole. Let's go. It is a par 3, 90 meters. Hedge to the right is OB. We've got an onion ring shaped OB, and well, actually, according to the map, this little kidney bean shaped bit of OB isn't even OB for this hole, so happy days. Ideally, you want to be throwing something really stable in this wind, nice and hard, nice and low, because if it goes too high, it's going to catch the wind, you're going to go in the river and lose your favourite disc. So I am going to be throwing either my Nuke or my Zeus. I am going to take both to the back of the tee pad and then see what the wind's like in my face when I'm about to throw it. I am going to throw the Zeus. Right, here we go. Slight bit of hyzer, nice and out to the right. No OB, hopefully. Oh, that is well far left. That is in the river. No, it is safe left. Well, I guess that's what you're supposed to do. Now let's try and show you what you're supposed to do, sorry. Wow, that was really wide. By the looks of it, my disc is pretty much near the OB, but luckily they've got this nice little bit of land that kind of escapes out, and it's pretty much here by the looks of it to catch discs that are shanked. So pretty happy about that. I've got a really obstructed look here. I think I'm going to go for the P2 on this one, seeing as it's nice and stable in this wind. It's got a little bit of glide, and we'll try and get this upshot kind of close. Bit of nice footing here. So watching out for trees, through the gap. I do have a gap. Okay, and there. Is that safe? Or is that OB? I hope it's not OB. It's OB. Ah. Well, that is going to be a look against the OB for bogey, which is still, hopefully if I get it, a good score. But in this wind, it just takes hold of the disc so easily. That is definitely OB. Well, that is disc golf. Where did it go? About here? Near the bag. Right, let's get my bogey. It's still a pretty good score. Bogey is good. Bogey is good in this wind. Still think it's possible to go double OB, so if you go OB off your first shot, shooting 3, and then you're shooting, wow, 5, yeah. So you are taking a double bogey on this par 3. And I think par 3 is about right. It's only about 90 or 100 meters, so that's pretty fair. I mean, it's a decent green. It's kind of like a little dartboard as well, so often you can get this that just tombstone into the green and don't really roll away into the OB. So if you can get your shot online, you're kind of rewarded for going for it. Whoa. Okay guys, here we are. Final hole of the practice round, hole 12 of Felin Geri. Par 3, 86 meters. River in the middle is OB, OB right as well, OB long, OB left. Idea is to throw something understable, get to flip up to flat, maybe ride through there, or maybe even throw a buzz if you fancy it. In this wind, I'm going to be going for my Zed's World Tour Avenger SS. Trying to do exactly what I said, but in this land, it's pretty much bogey or birdie territory when I'm going for it. Smart play, if you want to play for par, is just to lay up to the river there, lay up to the basket and par it, but for the viewers, I'm going to bogey or birdie it. Oh, that is a massive shank. Well, that's not what to do on this hole, guys. I think I slipped a bit on the tee pad. We'll try that route that I said with the buzz, see if we could even do a straight shot through the middle. And I'm going to take one step back so I don't slip again. That is really slippery out here to do. So guys, unfortunately you're going to have to wait for a pure shot on a dry day when hopefully I can get back here, but today I am absolutely in the jungle and it's going to be a scramble for my par. So I've still got quite a way to go. I could go for the tomahawk over in this tree, bending it to the right, but I think I'm going to try and forehand it with a zone, and I am going to be throwing my Paul Macbeth 4-time zone, and it's a first run as well, so hopefully we get some. Wow, I am so pinched off. Left to right, 30-mile left. So hopefully I can hang it out even further left and carry back. And I think just outside the circle putt for bogey. We are safe. And I think that's a double, but hey, we went for it, and hopefully you guys managed to see a little bit of Felin Geri with me, some of the things you should do, a lot of the things you shouldn't do, and yeah, it's been a great round, guys. Shout out to my friends at Ace Disc Golf, shout out to my friends also behind the film crew, doing all the work, and without them it wouldn't even be possible. Shout out to Discraft as well for most of the plastic that I've thrown today, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace out, and thanks for watching.